Now, I'm sure you've all heard about the Saki Tenma glue theory, but what you probably haven't heard is the Saki Tenma in the glue factory theory. Get it? Because she's actually dead. Let me explain how and why. You probably know, Saki was very sick, spending most of her childhood in hospital, suffering with a mysterious sickness known as furthering the plot, which is where the glue theory comes in, as it entails a bunch of what ifs, like what would have happened if Saki died or dies. But the glue factory theory deals in absolutes, and only two types of people deal in absolutes: Sifs and doctors. And if Saki's sickness wasn't the plot and actually was an unknown disease, years of watching Dr. House has told me that you can't cure those, not even with a medicine drug. So at some point in the game, she unfortunately, which means that nothing of what we see in the game story is actually happening in real life, leaving us with three possibilities of what could be going on. The first one is that we, the player, are seeing the story through Saki's eyes as she's dying. Her life's flashing between her eyes. She's seeing the possibilities of what could have happened if she wasn't sick or had recovered. And every time we see a white flash on a loading screen, it's actually just a relevant juncture of what Saki is seeing. The second possibility is that the events we see in Project Sakai are Saki's version of heaven. And yes, Hatsune Miku was the real god and religion we should have been following all along. So the Amish are looking pretty stupid right now. And the best part is, they can't even hear what I'm saying. But anyways, because Saki's such a nice person who cares about her friends, I'm sure that part of the afterlife which she wants to see is Leonid reforming. Having the friend group which was separated for years getting back together is something we all wish would happen. Also, in her heaven, she gets to see her brother, Stinky Tenma, take the steps needed to achieve his goal and to be alongside friends who help him along the way. And we can't forget about Toya, one of Saki's childhood friends, who's able to break free of the chains that are classical music. Which all seem like strokes of good fortune that are too good to be true. And that's because they aren't. Because unfortunately, life doesn't always go your way. Unless you're Saki Tenma, because throughout Earth and Heaven, she alone is the honored one. Or maybe she is just dead, which brings me to my third point, or option, of what the story could be. We are seeing the story through Stinky Tenma's eyes. In another one of my videos, I talked about Stinky Tenma being schizophrenic, and that the story is being told from his perspective, where most of the characters and concepts of Sakai's are just his delusions because of the head trauma he received from Emu jumping on him from 2 stories high, giving him head trauma. But instead of this causing his schizophrenia, it was rather the extreme grief of losing his sister that sent him down this slippery spiral. This is why he talks to himself and non-existent people all the time. And since his parents suffer from the same grief, they're just enabling this. And all the options I just talked about are just as likely as the other. The only problem is, this kind of doesn't answer the question which we started with, but I'm sure you guys wouldn't have watched a video explaining how she died, but how it's possible she did, and what avenues can come from this. But let's let bygones be bygones, because I've realised how bad this script is. But then I asked Mizuki if what I was saying was true, and she said yes, it is. So, yeah, beat that. That's right, you can't. I get away with making a shit video yet again.